So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kurt Smith. I'm the Director of Industry Relations for the ATA. And today we're going to be talking about the 5 myths of digital retail and selling through COVID-19 and beyond. And let's face it, most of us don't really know what is beyond, but what we do know is that things are changing every day. And so with me today is Michele Salerno from Celerant Technologies, and she's going to be taking us through some myths you want to maybe consider and think about how your business is handling the ever-changing market. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Michele.
Well, thank you, Kurt. So as Kurt said, my name is Michele Salerno, and I head the marketing team here at Celerant. For those of you who are not familiar with who we are a retail technology provider. We offer a complete solution for in-store and online, so point of sale, inventory management, purchase orders, e-commerce, marketplace integrations, digital marketing, really your one-stop shop for your technology partner. And so today, we are going to talk about the 5 myths of digital retail. So we have a lot to cover. So I'll take you first through the 5 myths. Number one, my customers aren't shopping online. So that might maybe have been true 5-6 months ago, but I can assure you that today it is not true. Number two, e-commerce is time consuming and expensive. Again, this might have been somewhat true 5 years ago, and it might still be true if you're looking to build an enterprise, custom-built e-commerce site. But for the majority of the dealers on this webinar, you're probably just looking for a nice e-commerce site to get started. And so it's no longer as time-consuming or expensive as it once was. Number three, promoting an e-commerce site is difficult. So step one is launching your site. But you can't stop there. Step two, you have to promote it. And so some of you may be hesitant because you're worried you don't have the internal resources or the capability to continuously promote your site. So we'll talk through all that. And number four, and this is a big one, pricing matters most online. So we have at Celerant about 1,500 retail clients, and I'd say probably close to maybe 70% now have e-commerce sites. So that leaves still about 30% who don't. And so when I talk to those dealers and I kind of ask them why, what's holding them back, there's a lot of different reasons, but one of the big reasons is they fear that as soon as they go online, they're going to have to compete with Amazon and they're going to have to slash their prices. And that is absolutely, excuse me, absolutely something they don't want to do. So we're going to talk all through that and talk about ways that you can get online without having to do that. And then number five, which again, this is another big one. A lot of dealers think that when COVID-19 passes, everything will just go back to normal. And I have to admit that I myself thought that back in March. I'm here in New York, well, actually my home office in New Jersey today. But we had the worst of it in March and April. And I thought that once we get through April, it'll go away and everything will go back to normal. Well, I'm still working from home and it's not going away. So, definitely we don't want to think that once it's over, everything's going to go back to normal because things have changed and they're going to continue to change moving through the holiday season and even into next year. And who knows how much longer beyond. So then I'll talk a little bit about who we are at Celerant, what we offer and how we can help. And of course, our relationship with the ATA, and how long we've worked with the ATA and can provide solutions for dealers. And then I'll go through some retail solutions that can help you now, help you get through COVID, and of course, beyond. So things like ready-made e-commerce, how you can launch an e-commerce site pretty quickly with ready-made options. The virtual store, that's something that we offer that really enables you to instantly flip your brick and mortar inventory and all the products you carry in your store, flip it so it's available on an online storefront with basically minimal effort on your part. So it's definitely different from an e-commerce site, and I'll talk through the differences there. And then curbside pickup. So everybody's talking about curbside. Hopefully you're actually offering curbside, If you're lucky enough to have a lot of orders, it might be getting confusing and a little unorganized. And so using an application to help you streamline the process with text message alerts and things like that to help smooth the process. And then we can't forget about in-store. So things like line busting and contactless payments, how you can help those shoppers that are coming into your store feel more comfortable and feel more safe with that in-store experience. So let's jump in with myth number one. My customers aren't shopping online. So one thing that we know, it's clear, online sales have surged since COVID-19. If people can't get to your stores, if your stores were forced to close, or even if your stores are open or reopening, um, consumers may be scared. They may be hesitant. Some of them may be hesitant to just walk right back in your store. So if they can't get to your store, they're going to want to buy your products online. So as such, online sales have surged. You see the little light bulb here. We have a little stat. So in-store sales are actually down 14%, and e-commerce sales are up over 18%. Now, depending on the vertical, that can look very differently. In some verticals, it's much higher than 18%. But the takeaway is, of course, in-store sales are down, online sales are up. So if you're not online, you really need to consider getting online. The other point is that COVID-19 has forced a lot of consumers to get back outdoors, and they may not be traveling big vacations like going to Aruba or Hawaii. What they're doing instead is they're staying local, they're getting outdoors, they're camping, they're hunting, they're fishing, they're doing outdoor family activities. And in order to do that, they need equipment, they need supplies, and so that's when they're going to lean on you as their local dealer. So if they can't get in your store, they need the product. So they'll either buy them in your store or they'll buy them online. And number three is safety concerns are driving many first-time buyers to shift to online sales. So people who never bought online before, you may think your customers don't shop online, and that might have been true 5 months ago. But as we know now, customers who had never shopped online are now shopping online, especially the older generation who, frankly, they're the ones most at risk. They now especially are buying online, and they're the ones, frankly, who weren't buying online at all going back a couple of months. And then offering new fulfillment options like buy online, pick up in store, or curbside.
And Michelle, I'll jump in. It's you have the the thumbnail there from one of our articles. Says capitalize as hunting interest surges after the pandemic, and I think we have seen that from a lot of our manufacturers that are seeing just really an increased demand, retailers as well. And it's really important to realize that a lot of these people who are interested in hunting now, specifically bow hunting for our industry, um, they may really not know where to get equipment. They may not know where to get services, and it's a digital first world. When they want to find somewhere to find that equipment, they're looking online, and they're looking for somewhere that's convenient, that's easy to get the equipment, somewhere they can trust. They probably prefer a local business, but they're not probably just going to go drive around and try to find an archery shop, especially right now. They're going to look online. They're going to see who can meet their need in the most efficient and convenient way possible.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'll really go through in today's session is, when we think about going online, we think about capturing new customers, but also going online, there's a big focus on your local customers. So I'm going to talk, let me actually go to the next slide. I'm going to talk a lot about how to get in front of your customers, whether it's looking for new customers, but more importantly, how to get in front of your existing customers, your local customers, but doing it online because maybe you can't do it through your brick and mortar at the current time. So of course, first and foremost is to launch an e-commerce site, even if it's just for your local customers. And then there's email marketing. So I'm going to take a guess, hopefully, that the majority of the dealers on this call are doing some sort of email marketing. But I would assume that the majority are probably doing mass emails to their entire group of customers. And so that's good. It's good that you're marketing to your customers and sending out the emails. But what is much more effective is sending personalized emails to specific segments. So instead of sending out one email to every customer, you're creating different emails based on different products or different preferences or different types of buyers. And then you can segment your email list and then send out personalized emails to those dealers. And so there's different ways you can do that. Again, it depends on your technology provider. At Celerant, we offer an email marketing platform that integrates with our point of sale and e-commerce data in real time. So the system looks at your customer data, what they're buying, what their purchase history, their preferences, and then you're able to send them personalized emails based on what they actually purchased. So email marketing is just it's a great way to get to your customers, and it's the most cost effective way to market your business. And of course, you're sending out emails promoting your products, promotions, trying to increase your sales. But email marketing is also a really great way to just communicate to your customers. So if you changed your store hours, maybe you're not open 7 days a week, maybe you're not allowing full capacity, whatever your changes are or your restrictions are, it's a really good idea to communicate that to your customers via email or also social media. There's nothing worse than a customer coming to your store because they're expecting you to still be open like usual, and then they realize you're not. So the more you can communicate and the more you can let your customers know what's going on with your business, the better. Social media is another really, really great way, especially now through the pandemic. So there's more people on their smartphones and on their social media accounts than ever before. So if you don't already have your own social media profile for your business, I really encourage you to put one up. And then be active, make posts, post pictures, post videos, post products. Great videos are great. And you can even just take a video from your smartphone. It doesn't have to be a high quality, high production video. It could just be, a simple video as selfie mode on your smartphone in your store. And if you want to let them know about your store hours or your new products or your new curbside pickup, instead of just typing it out, make a video, show your face, smile, and get it on video and then post it. Because as your customers are scrolling through their Facebook or Instagram, through their news feeds, and they're going to constantly see your company, your name, your face if you do a picture or a video. And the whole point is to just continuously stay in front of your customers, even if they're not in your store. Online marketplaces is also a great way to get your products online, even if you don't have e-commerce. And of course, you could push out to Amazon or eBay or Walmart. But even if you don't want to go that route, there's marketplaces that are specific to the outdoor industry. So whether it's Everest, which is a newer marketplace, or Weapon Depot, or if you do sell firearms and hunting accessories and whatnot, you can go on Gunbroker or guns.com. There's a lot of different marketplaces out there that you can push your products to. And if your retail software has an integration to those marketplaces, then you can just push your products out with just 1 or 2 clicks. And then your orders will flow right into your point of sale software from that marketplace. And so it's all integrated and you don't have to do all that manual entry. And then lastly, virtual consultations and classes. So you may think this is just too difficult. How can I do this? I can't figure this out. But it's not that difficult. If you just get on Zoom and you can promote everything and schedule it through your email marketing, your social media. If you have a website, you can put it on your website. You can do one-on-one consultations. You can schedule classes and then have group sessions. The whole point is just to get creative, think outside of the box, and try your best to keep these interactions going, even if it's through online. All right, so myth number 2, e-commerce is time-consuming and expensive. And so like I said earlier, that might have been true, going back 5 or so years ago. It might still be true today if you're launching a custom enterprise e-commerce site. That will definitely be much more time consuming and, still pretty costly. But for smaller dealers, there's a lot of different ways in which you can launch an e-commerce site, and you can do so pretty quickly with minimal investment and minimal effort. So I'm going to take you through 3 quick ways to help you accomplish that. So everybody on this webinar, I'm sure, is ordering their products from distributors, in some cases, multiple distributors. And so the majority, not all, but the majority of your distributors are probably already working with technology providers like us. So your point of sale provider or your e-commerce provider can already maybe be working with your distributor. And so at Celerant, we have integrations. And so we integrate with whether it's Kinsey's or Big Rock or Roscoe, Sport South, a whole slew of different distributors. And so what we do is we are able to take what's called an online feed. So let's say Kinsey's. They have an online feed. Their feed provides product images, product descriptions, MSRP, map pricing, and most importantly, current available inventory. So we, as your potential e-commerce provider, we could pull their online feed and we can pull all that information onto your e-commerce site. So one of the most time-consuming parts of launching an e-commerce site is building it out, getting the pictures, the product images, trying to find them, trying to take them, and then trying to upload them all. And then you have to type out all the descriptions for all your products. That is the single most part of launching a site that takes dealers the longest time. And frankly, some dealers they can't even wrap their heads around how they're going to do that. So through this vendor integration, you can pull all that data right from your distributor, and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is decide which product from Kinsey's you want to show on your website. And then everything else is done through automation. And then taking that another step, you can post your own products online. You can fulfill them as the orders come through, or you can choose to enable drop shipping, in which case your customer goes on your website, they see all the products that you carry, they place their order, and then their order is actually sent behind the scenes to Kinsey's to drop ship. The customer doesn't know it came from Kinsey's, they think it came from you. And the beauty of this is you're able to sell what we call an endless aisle. So you can sell many more products on your website or wider product lines on your website because you're not actually stocking the merchandise. And so you can also offer what we call an in-store kiosk and use that same online feed so that you can offer that wider product line in your store as well. Number 2, and I mentioned this, and this is going to be the theme of the whole webinar basically, but lean on your technology provider. So again, if you don't have one, then it's a really great time to go find one. And if you already have one, they can probably do a lot of this. And you just have to have that conversation and talk to them and ask for help. So your technology provider, in a lot of cases, can do the majority of the heavy lifting. They can design your website. They'll help you build it out. They'll host your website. And then in some cases, they can even help you with ongoing marketing. Number 3, web templates. So there's a lot of different templates out there, whether it's the WordPress templates and such, but your e-commerce provider, again, would have different templates for you to choose from. And there's a lot of flexibility available. With our e-commerce, you can, even though you're choosing a template, you can still tweak it, make it your own, add your own branding, change your colors, drag and drop, move products, change the department structure, really tweak the website to make it your own. Number 3, you might be thinking that promoting an e-commerce site is difficult. And you may be thinking, I don't have a digital marketing team. I don't have time. once I launch this site, how am I actually going to market it? How am I going to manage it? I just don't have the internal staff to do so. So there's some different ways you can do this. Number one, through social media. And so everything online can sort of flow together. Your social media, your email marketing, your e-commerce. You really want to use all these different channels to promote ultimately your business, whether you're promoting your brick and mortar business or your online sales. So again, you can build out your social media pages, build out your network. And so what I mean by that, just for those of you who don't know, is when you have your social media profile, your goal is to get as many followers as possible. You want to promote your social media page to all of your customers. So in your store, you want to encourage your customers to visit your Facebook page and give it a like and follow it. Because once they follow your page, they're going to see everything that you post. And the majority of what you're doing on social media is free. It costs nothing. So once they follow your page, you're going to be able to market to them again and again and again, and it costs nothing. So the more people, the more customers that you can get to follow your page, the more opportunity you're going to have to market to them long term. And then you can also, as you're posting videos and you're posting products and different things on your social media, hopefully your customers will start to share your posts. Because when your local customers share your posts, if it's something that's exciting enough for them to share, then all their followers will see the post and they may like it and they may click through, hopefully, to your website. And if they click through to your social media profile, hopefully then they're going to follow your page. And so you'll see this just continuously grows and grows and grows. And the more people that follow, the more people you can promote to. You can encourage customers in store to take pictures in your store. Take pictures with their new arrow or bow and arrow, whatever they may be purchasing, and then you can have them post it on their social and tag your page, and then more people will see it, thumbs up, and you get the idea. So then using that social media to market your website is a great way to increase sales and increase traffic to your site. Number two, your e-commerce provider. So again, as I say, lean on your technology partner. So a lot of technology partners, I can only speak for what we do, but they'll offer ongoing digital marketing services. So whether it's email marketing, maybe they're just going to offer you the platform and then you can build out all your emails, or they may offer it as a full service. And so what that means is they're not just going to provide you with the email marketing platform, but they'll also do everything for you on your behalf from start to finish. So they'll create the promotions, they'll segment your email list, they'll design the emails, they'll send out the emails on your behalf, and then they'll even report back to you and send you reports on how the emails did. So your provider may be able to do all of that for you. That's what we do at Celerant, or just give you the platform, and then you can do it on your own if you have the time or the staff to do
it. And I think, Michele, this is a case where I think business owners do really have to be honest with themselves about what their capacity is, what their abilities are. We have on our My ATA Learning Center, we have a whole course of how you can run your own Facebook ad campaign. If it's something you want to put some time, effort, and maybe a little bit of money behind, you can do that and you can do it yourself. You may see as you look at that maybe it takes a little bit more bandwidth than you have, or maybe it's just outside of your skill set. Maybe it's not, but this is again a case where you can't expect to just set up an e-commerce site or just a website in general and people just find it. You really have to get it out there, get it in front of them, and in today's world, it takes some skill, and especially in the industry that we are in with archery or especially with firearms. There are some additional hoops you have to jump through, especially if you're looking at social media. Their Facebook weapons policy that is ever changing. We have that on that course as well, how you can work within that policy. And again, it's going to take time. It's going to take resources of your time or someone on your staff's time. It's going to take effort, and it's not a once and done. And I think that's another thing to remember here is that you don't set up a funnel to take people to your website and then it's done and it just runs itself. It's something that you're always going to have to keep up with. Make sure that you're adapting to changes that happen. Social media, search engines, they're changing all the time. So sometimes it's a matter of looking at what you do in your business, what you do well, and maybe recognizing what's not in your wheelhouse, and then looking to like Celerant, like maybe a different technology provider that you're using, see what services they have. If it's a monthly fee, you kind of have to be honest and say, is it worth my time to try to do this myself? Learn it, learn how to do it, and then try to do it myself, or should I outsource that and try to have somebody who has the systems and the knowledge in place already, pay them a few bucks and do it for me. So I think that's, again, just a case where anybody who owns a business has to be honest about what their time is best spent doing.
And also, you may even have some team members on your staff who are on social media, frankly, too much. Maybe they're even on social media while they're working your cash registers, and that's something that you're always trying to talk to them about. But you may want to consider leveraging that and using that. So someone who is very familiar with social media and always just personally on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, maybe you want to consider giving them a little promotion and asking them to help you market your business. And if they're familiar with the social media platforms, they can probably do a really great job and really help you market your business through that platform. So, well, a lot of this we talked through already in the prior slide, but email marketing for sure is the most cost-effective way. So, and a lot of it, if you're going to set up automated workflows, where I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you sell a bike. So I'm a mom. I actually have 9-year-old triplets. So let's say I bought 3 children's bikes, and then you can send me an automated email a couple days later thanking me for the purchase. And then you may want to send me an email encouraging me to go onto your website to make an online review for those bikes. And then in that email, it's going to automatically include the link to the page on the website where the bikes that I bought live. And then maybe you want to send me another automated email encouraging me to purchase the helmet, the knee pads, whatever else, the little bell that goes on the bike, whatever else you sell that complements that bike to try to help upsell. And then maybe next spring, another automated email comes to me and says, Michele, spring is approaching. Come on in. We'll give you a free tune-up, or, come on in for a tune-up and we'll give you 10% off, something like that, to get me back into your store. And then maybe a couple years later, another automated email will come to me and say, your children are no longer small children. Now they're youth. Come trade in your children's bike, and we'll give you $100 credit towards, a youth bike. So you get the idea. And you can be as creative as you want, but the whole point is, the only thing that triggered all of those emails was me buying those 3 bikes. So once I purchased those 3 bikes, because of the integration, the system automatically sent out all of those emails, and you didn't have to do anything. Now, that said, you do have to set that up initially. So whether it's you or someone on your team setting that up initially, or you're working with your technology partner to do that, once that's all set up, it's called email automation. So again, it's triggered by something, and in this case, that something is me purchasing that product. So that's just one example of kind of how creative you can get with your email marketing and how personalized you can get with your email marketing. And then SEO services. So we didn't talk about this yet. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And so what this means is, when you launch your website, your long-term goal is to be on page 1 when someone goes to Google and types in one of your products. And that's not typically an easy task. If you're talking about local customers and they're typing in local searches, then yes, it's a bit easier. But when you're talking about the whole web, it's a bit more challenging. So SEO services is an ongoing service that you should and could take advantage of to really help your website get better rankings on search engines like Google. And so you can work on this yourself, or again, you can outsource this to your technology provider. There's also a bunch of SEO service companies out there who can help you with this if your e-commerce provider doesn't. Of course, we at Celerant, we do offer all these full service, these digital marketing services as well. But the takeaway is, to Kurt's point earlier, you don't want to just launch your site one and done and forget it. You need to be posting content on the site, customizing your product descriptions to make it your own, encouraging your shoppers to post reviews. It's that continuous updates to content that's going to help with your SEO. And then, of course, there's other steps too, more behind the scenes stuff that an SEO company could help you with. Myth number 4, pricing matters most online. So this is definitely a topic that I want to talk through a bit because, like I mentioned, 70% or so of our clients do have e-commerce, but then there's that 30% or so that still are not online. And when I talk to them and I ask them why, it's a lot of the reasons that we talked about on this webinar. But a lot of them just feel that as soon as they go online, they're going to need to compete with Amazon. And they're just not looking to do that. They don't want to have to gouge their prices and drop prices. But that's not necessarily the number one factor anymore. Especially now, you can see the little chart here. So pre-COVID, price was definitely more important over convenience. So those thoughts might have been somewhat accurate, going back 5 months. But now today, you can see the shift. So now convenience, it basically flips. Now convenience is much more important for online shoppers than price. So customers want, you see the checklist here. They want products that are actually available in stock. Especially in the outdoor industry, a lot of products are not available. They're just out of stock. So if your products are in stock, that's a win right there. They want convenient, safe delivery options like curbside pickup, buy online, pickup in store, contactless, safe options. Same day pickup. Of course, when they're on your website, they want a good experience. They want a fast website. They want to be able to find what they're looking for. Brand loyalty. So especially when you're hitting your local customers, building up that loyalty, that's going to matter a lot more. And when you can do those virtual consultations and those one-on-one, that's all about customer experience. It's all about bringing your in-store experience to your online presence. And so all of that is becoming much more important than price. So how can archery dealers set themselves apart online? Again, the little light bulb over there, 52% say half or more purchases are influenced by convenience, because of course this is now changing. So I'm not going to read through everything that's on here. A lot of this we did go through already. But the most important part here is your local customers. So if they can't get to you, you need to be able to go to them. And so you can do so by launching an e-commerce site. You can also do so much more easily, much easier, by launching what we call a virtual site. I'm going to talk through that in a little bit. But a virtual site is not actually building out an entire e-commerce site. It's basically just taking the products that you currently have available in your store and flipping them quickly to an online storefront without having to really do anything. And the whole purpose of that is just for local pickup, whether it's in-store or curbside. So that's a great way to reach your local customers without even worrying about even trying to hit the whole World Wide Web. So we'll talk through that in a few minutes. Myth number 5, sales will return to normal after COVID. And so this is a big one. because it's no secret. I mean, you read the blogs, you watch the news, you see the articles on TV, the articles everywhere. Most experts agree COVID-19 has permanently changed retail. And, while more consumers are turning online than ever before, even the in-store shopping experience has changed and will change moving forward. So you really have three types of customers. Customer one are the ones that may already be back in your stores. They're eager to shop again. We love those customers. We want more of those customers. Customer two, they may have been a little hesitant early on, but now here we are 4 or 5 months later. Now they're expecting these new conveniences. They expect curbside pickup. They expect to shop online. They expect same day fulfillment. And so even long past COVID, they're going to want this to continue because now it's become their, I hate to say it, their new normal. And then there's customer number three who might be at risk or for whatever reason, they're scared, they're nervous, and they're just hesitant to return to your store. And we don't know what the fall is going to bring. Is there going to be a second wave? Even once we get past that, they may still be hesitant to just get back out there and get back in your store. So you really need to be prepared to service all three types of customers, now through the holiday season and of course beyond. So a couple quick things about us at Celerant. So we are a retail software provider. We provide a full solution, point of sale, inventory management, purchasing, reporting, everything for your in-store brick and mortar. And then we also provide a complete e-commerce online solution. So we can launch your e-commerce site. We can help you with marketplace integrations, digital marketing, really everything online. So, we take pride in being your one technology partner for all aspects of your business. We have 4 offices. Our main is in New York. I'm actually working from home still in my home office in New Jersey. But we also have an office in California, Georgia, and Texas. And so we're not new to the game. We're actually getting ready to celebrate our 21st anniversary coming up this October. I myself, I'm with Celerant. It'll be 15 years this September. So, we're at it for quite a while. We have about 1,500 retail clients across multiple verticals, mostly soft goods, hard goods, the outdoor industry, hunt, camp, fish. But we really do hit several different markets. And of course, we're a My ATA service provider, and we have special promotions, which we'll get to all that later. A lot of bullets on here. I won't go through it, but we can offer basically everything you see here, whether it's your in-store, your online. You may have a range, so we have a full range solution as well. Recurring billing, repairs, rentals, and all of that. So I want to take a few minutes and talk about some of the solutions that we have. But frankly, it's not just us that offers these solutions. You may already have a technology provider that hopefully is offering all of these things as well. And you may just need to have that conversation and talk to them to find out exactly what they do offer and how they can help. So we'll talk through, first, let's look at e-commerce. So we offer what we call ready-made e-commerce. And so how that's ready-made is you can get online fast, really because of 2 things. We create a pre-built website department structure. So there's really 2 things that take a long time when you're launching an e-commerce site. Number one is building out your department structure. So when you go to a website, you see on the top all your departments, and then as you click through your sub-departments and such. So that takes a long time to build all that out. So what we've done is we've pre-built a website department structure for the archery industry. So you can choose to build your own, or you can just use the one that we've already built. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we integrate with your distributors. So you can just pull their product images, their product descriptions, their available quantity. You can use all their data to build out your e-commerce site. And that saves so much time. We've actually had a customer that we were able to start their website, and they were live, I think, within about 5 days. And so that's how fast we can get your e-commerce site up. Now, that's not the norm. I'm not going to say we get every site up in 5 days, but depending on how fast you can work with us and how fast you want to get live, that's how quickly we can do it. Virtual store. So this is something that we offer at Celerant, and I'm not sure which other technology providers are yet offering this. This is definitely something new that we just started to offer due to COVID. So we offered our new virtual store for 2 reasons. We had single store merchants who didn't have e-commerce, and they desperately needed a way to get their products online to service their local customers for same-day pickup. And then number 2, we have also some larger retail clients who had multiple stores who needed a way to get in different communities that they serve, their local stores' inventories online for each local community, also for same-day pickup. So, the majority of everyone on this call will probably be more scenario 1. And so I'll explain how it works. If you're using our point of sale in your store, what we do is we pull your products from your point of sale database. So we're pulling every product that you currently have in stock in your store, and we're simply taking that data and displaying it on an online web page. And then your customers can visit your virtual store, they can browse your departments, and they'll see everything that you currently have in stock in your store on this web page, on this virtual store. And then they can check out. The virtual store accepts multiple payment types, credit cards, and then they can either select curbside pickup or buy in store, same day, buy online, pick up in store. But the whole goal for this virtual store is not to be trying to market to the entire web. It's only to service your local customers. There's no shipping. There's no shipping options. The only thing your customers can do is pick it up at your store, either at the curb or in the store, if you're open, or however they prefer, because you may be open and they may still prefer to pick up at your curb. So that's how the virtual store works. It's just taking the data that already lives in your POS database at the store and flipping it quickly to online. So there's really not much effort that you need to do. It's done through the software. And then curbside pickup. So this is something that, I'm sure you're seeing a lot about. Hopefully a lot of you are even trying to do it. And hopefully you're getting enough orders where it's getting confusing. It could get confusing and a bit unorganized if you don't have some sort of technology application to help support it. So one thing that we're offering is what we call our curbside pickup application. So basically orders can flow, your e-commerce orders, your virtual store orders, even phone orders. So even if you're just marketing on social media and having your customers call in to place orders, you can just enter your orders right into the curbside app. And then the application, you're going to enter the customer's phone number or their email, whatever you prefer, whatever they prefer. And the application is going to send text message and or email alerts to your consumers and to your store associates. So let's say I make an order on the virtual store. As soon as I make the order, a text message is going to go to your store clerk, letting them know there's an order waiting. Your store clerk will go, they'll pick the items off the floor, they'll pack it up, and then once they're ready, they're going to just click a button in the application. The application will send a text message to the consumer, letting them know the order is ready for pickup. And then in the text, it'll say, come to our curb, come to our parking lot, wherever you want them to come to pick up the order. There'll also be a link in that text that tells your customer, as soon as you arrive at my curb, click on this link to let us know you've arrived. So now once they arrive at the curb, they click the link in their text message. As soon as they click that link, then they get a thank you page saying, thank you, we'll be right there. And then that simultaneously sends a text message to your store clerk in the store, letting them know that Michele, their customer, is now waiting at their curb. So it's just a streamlined approach. Really, it's a communication approach, an automated communication approach, so that the customers can easily communicate with the store clerk and just simplify the process. And Mobile point of sale and contactless payments. So this is not so much to do with e-commerce. Everything we've talked about up until now really has a strong digital focus. But we still can't forget about that in-store experience and how that is changing. So depending on where you're located, restrictions are different, obviously. But bottom line is there's restrictions everywhere, some sort of restrictions. And so a lot of these restrictions are causing lines in the store. You have to have the stickers on the floor 6 feet apart. So a great application to use in your store is mobile point of sale. Because if you have mobile point of sale, then you can do what's called line busting. And you can process sales from anywhere in your store to help keep those lines shorter. Or you can take your mobile point of sale and you can process sales at your curb, in your parking lot. If you're doing like a tent sale in your parking lot, you can take that mobile point of sale anywhere and process sales. And then contactless payments. So that's a term you may be hearing a lot about, and you may not be exactly sure what that means. So contactless payments basically means it's credit card processing, but it means you're supporting Apple Pay or Google Pay. So instead of the credit card having to be entering the machine and even touching the machine or anyone exchanging credit cards, they just take their phone and just wave it over the device, and it's going to accept it through contactless. There's no touching, there's no exchanging of anything. So it's definitely something that is it's been available for quite a while, but now it's becoming more and more popular because, people just want frictionless, contactless sales process. So those are a couple of ways that you can help your in-store experience through the right technology. And so we have a special offer. Again, if you have an existing technology partner, I really encourage you to lean on them, talk to them, ask questions. They may already have some of this. If you don't have a technology partner, or if they're not able to offer these types of solutions that you want to maybe start talking about, reach out to us. We'd love to talk. We'd love to talk through our solution and how we can help. And we do have a special promotion for ATA members, 30% off we're offering for all new point of sale and e-commerce. But that's also things like SEO services, email marketing. We're really offering that 30% off the monthly SaaS off of just about everything to really help the ATA members get started. So there's a link there, www.celerant.com/ATA. And you can learn more. You can see the details, more specific details for the promotion. And there's a lot more information on that page as well. And of course, contact information so you can reach out directly to us. So Kurt, I think we probably have some questions. Now may be a good time to take a look at those.
Absolutely. And thank you for including that information. And we will make sure we'll have this presentation on the My ATA Learning Center. We'll make sure we have that link in the description as well. And as always, our My ATA service providers, you can just check out that page on the archerytrade.org website, and I'll have links to this as well. So the first one I want to ask, and this is kind of just my question, but you mentioned independent retailers getting started with e-commerce and not viewing that really as competing with the giants, with Amazon, with Walmart.com, with whatever else. So if an independent retailer recognizes that they want to start with some sort of e-commerce, but they don't want to get into that competition, trying to beat Amazon at their own game, which I promise is you're going to lose from the start. If you're a brick and mortar retailer, that's probably not your strong suit. So if they want to get into e-commerce, they recognize they don't want to compete with Amazon, with Walmart.com. How would you recommend they kind of get started? How do they start moving that direction without getting caught up in that type of competition?
Right. So, there's a couple of ways. They can start by doing the virtual store. The virtual store is really great because it could be the stepping stone, the way I like to look at it. If you're hesitant to get online for whatever your reasonings may be, because of competing with Amazon, having to slash prices, all that stuff, the virtual store is an easy way to get online quickly. There's not a lot of effort. And the number one only focus for the virtual store is your local customer base. So you're not even trying to compete with Amazon because you're only marketing it to your local customers, and they're only able to pick up the orders through curbside pickup or in-store pickup. Um, and then once you have your virtual store and you get your feet wet, you're selling your products online to your local customers. You're starting to see how that works. Then you may start to feel a little bit more prepared to venture out more. And then building an e-commerce site off of your virtual store, you kind of already have the foundation built. Um, but if you didn't want to go the virtual store route, if you wanted to launch an e-commerce site, I still strongly believe that, like with a ready-made Cumulus e-commerce site, for example, it's it's a low cost of entry. It's it's cost effective. It's minimal work on your part, especially if you are going to be pulling products from your distributors like Kinsey's to help you build out the site. So the initial effort is minimal. And then again, even if you have that e-commerce site, if you make your initial focus your local customers, you market on social media, you send out email marketing, everything links back. You want everything to link back to your website so that you can promote. And you don't want to just link back to an informational website because then you're not selling anything. And so, yeah, it's great to give information about your business, especially to your local customers. But again, because of COVID, a lot of your local customers may not be wanting to come to your store. So it would be much more valuable to link them back to a site, a website that you're actually selling products on, whether that be a virtual site or an e-commerce site.
And I think too, it's important to realize that the people who still want to come to your store, that either a because you're able to be open, you're not restricted in that way, or somebody who just they want to get out and they want to see product. It's still good for them to see what you have in stock. So sometimes that e-commerce site can just be it's almost like a just another form of advertising. It's just another way for somebody to see that it's worth my trip to go to the store. I
Right.
want this today. It's worth my trip because I can see that they have A, B, and C products in stock. And I can see the inventory. I'm not going to get there and be like, oh, actually, we don't have any. We just had that on our website. So even if the sale is not happening online, that's still a really good way to encourage people to come out to your store and then maybe have the opportunity to upsell to help them choose a product that's right for them.
Yeah. And to that point, I mean, it's a great point because especially now, even the people who are coming into your stores, they may want to minimize their time spent in your store. So they don't want to just come in and browse and walk all around and just explore and see what you have. They may want to look on your website, see exactly what you have in stock today, so that they can then just go to your store, walk through the door, and then just buy it in your store. So absolutely, it's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have just a couple other questions here, and the next one kind of goes along with this. So, question: a lot of my inventory, like bows, can't be sold online per dealer agreements. Some of those pro shop only items. So, can I set up a site that's solely focused on showing inventory without selling, or maybe just put some items on there that can be seen but not actually purchased online?
Yeah, so you can absolutely do that. You can post product images and have it stated on the website that it's for in-store purchase and in-store pickup only, due to those restrictions. So to your point earlier, for people who want to go on your website to see what you have in stock and then actually go to the store to either just pick it up or if they need to actually make that purchase in the store as well, then you can post all the product images and then just have a comment there in that product page. You can have all the product details, have everything, and then have them direct them to the store to make that purchase.
Okay. And I would mention too for for archery dealers that with the pro shop lines of bows, that does tend to be the case that you can't just sell those online if it's current inventory. And my advice for retailers would definitely be to also have that conversation with your sales rep, with that manufacturer, and see exactly what the details are of that. They may still be okay with you transacting the purchase online. They may be okay with you taking that payment as long as somebody is coming to the store to pick it up. You're still selling locally. And that may be the difference between somebody purchasing the bow from you or not, just that little convenience factor. So I would definitely recommend just have the conversation. You don't know, it may be different for each manufacturer, but at least then you know how you are still making the most of your sales opportunities, but also sticking within the guidelines that they have set out.
And to that
Especially
point
now
too,
they change all the time, so it's good to know.
yeah, and also, what their guidelines might have once been may have now changed.
Yeah.
Just as I keep recommending you have that conversation with your technology partner, just because you don't know what you don't know, um, your vendors, they may have changed their guidelines too. So what once was may be different now. So having that conversation can just help across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody wants to capture sales, and I think you're right. It's now's a time when some of the policies that have been in place for maybe a long time are they're flexing a little bit, and nobody wants to be trying to quote get away with things, but just knowing what the current policies are from your vendors, from your manufacturer partners is really important.
Yeah,
So just
I just wanted to throw one
yeah,
thing out to that point because it just made me think of it. So we, of course, we have dealers who's focused primarily with archery and fishing, and of course firearms. And so, in talking about guidelines and changing guidelines, so for those of you who do sell firearms, or even if you don't, you may just find this interesting. So back in April, the ATF sent out an open letter that they actually changed their policy, which once was the firearm had to be picked up and purchased, not purchased, but picked up in the brick and mortar store location within the walls of the brick and mortar store. They changed that and they made that more flexible so that you can actually do now curbside pickup of a firearm if you have the right technology, and you can do a mobile E4473, which, we offer that with our partner Fastbound. And so they can literally stay in their car at your curb and you can do a firearm transaction at the curb. So again, whether you sell guns or not, it just goes to show you if the ATF is changing restrictions due to everything right now to help the dealers, it's likely that a lot of your vendors are too.
yeah, absolutely. Um, just a couple more questions here. Um, I have a question here. The process of packing and shipping seems like a nightmare if I don't have the staff to do that. So, is there any automation that makes that process, if you're just getting into e-commerce, knowing how to pack and not necessarily knowing how to pack and ship, but actually knowing, where you're sending it, how much shipping they paid for, the method that you're using? Is there automation in place for that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Um, so we offer integrated shipping services. So, whether you want to integrate with UPS or FedEx or USPS, so when the order is placed online, it's automatically sent to your back office uh, software, and then you have an alert. You see there's an order, so you see what the order is, and then you can go and you can pick it and pack it up. But right within the fulfillment screen in the back office of the software, through the integration to the shipping provider, you can just print your shipping label right there in one step. So your products are all entered in the database with their weight and their dimensions, and so it's literally just a one-step fulfillment process to actually print that shipping label right from within your Celerant software.
Perfect. And then the last one that I want to ask here is pretty simple, but in today's day and age, when there are so many cases that we see of security issues, somebody is getting into e-commerce, they haven't taken payments before. Am I responsible for security issues that could arise with taking payments online?
Well, so with your e-commerce sites, it's important that your e-commerce provider has that security built in to the website. And so we have something that's called fraud scoring. So there's precautions built in so that the billing address, the shipping address, if it doesn't match, different things like that, where there'll be alerts if it looks like something is fraudulent. And so that can help minimize the risk.
Excellent. Very good. I think that is all the questions that we have for now. Naturally, there are going to be some more specific questions that pop up. So, Michelle, can you maybe let our members know how they can best reach you if they do have some questions or they want to get some more information about getting started? Maybe see if you can help them out with their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you visit the link that you see there, celerant.com/ATA, there's a lot of information on that page. There's also a form on the page that you can fill out, and then that comes to my team, and then we'll follow up with a phone call. Or you can just email info@celerant.com, and that also comes to my team in our marketing department. So absolutely, we'll respond, even if it's just a question about anything that we covered in the webinar that you just want to talk about. We're more than happy to answer your questions and help however we can.
Perfect. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and get wrapped up for today. Again, thank you everybody for joining us for this webinar or viewing the recording. And if there's anything you need from the ATA, you can contact us. Again, my name is Kurt Smith. My email is just kurtsmith@archerytrade.org, or you can find any contact information for any of our staff members on our website at archerytrade.org. So again, thank you, Michelle, and thank you everybody for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.